Learn how to establish an automated data pipeline that retrieves customer records from an external API and feeds them into your dialer campaign.
Connect the API Sync Dialer to your CRM, billing system, or e-commerce platform. The system retrieves new leads, pending follow-ups, and abandoned carts, then initiates automated calls to customers based on your schedule. This connection enables real-time synchronization, automated retry logic, and immediate CRM updates, so your team can contact every sales lead. You can integrate this tool with any CRM, ERP, billing system, or e-commerce store using the secure API. Here you can see the complete interaction timeline for the number, giving you a chronological history of all calls associated with that contact. Use this page to monitor and update all of your API Sync dialers from one central location. Use this form to establish a new API data sync. We will now go through each field to complete the configuration. Enter the API Endpoint URL in the input field. The sync dialer calls this address at scheduled intervals to retrieve the latest contact records for your dialing queue. Click the Request Type dropdown to define your API's communication method. Select the specific option your API uses. For this example, select Get to set the request type. Paste the JSON object containing your required API headers, such as access tokens or content type definitions. This authenticates and configures the request, which updates the connection settings for your upcoming call. Similarly, paste in the JSON object for the request body, including any parameters your API requires to return the correct data for the sync dialer. Define specific conditions to control the sync dialer's behavior based on the API response, including conditions to stop the current operation if the API returns an error. You can add multiple conditions and choose whether all must be true or just one, giving you precise control over how the sync dialer continues processing. Pick the variable from your API response that the dialer will evaluate to determine whether the current fetch should proceed or stop.
Provide the value that the condition key should be compared against.
In this step, we call the Shopify Abandoned Cart API and check that the response is not null. This condition ensures the dialer only proceeds when the system returns at least one abandoned cart. Select Add Condition to set up extra criteria. This gives you precise control over when the dialer processes the retrieved data. Select the frequency for the sync dialer to fetch data from your API. This setting keeps your calling list updated with the latest records. Input the exact key path for the API response variable. This tells the system where the contact list is located, so the dialer can load those records for calling.
Specify which key in each array item contains the customer's phone number.
Select the phone field from your data array. Enter the field name directly. Do not include the data array prefix, as the system will read the value directly from this field next. Now we'll map the fields from your API response to the dialer's input, so it knows how to extract and process the correct data from each record. Input the key that will serve as your unique identifier. This prevents the dialer from processing duplicate records retrieved from your API. The duplicate check period determines how the system validates the unique field. It either checks the field against all previously saved data during every run or performs this validation once per day. The action type is set to Add to Dialer, which instructs the system to automatically add the fetched records to the dialer queue for calling. Select the dialer you want to add the fetched data to. This routes the records to the correct calling queue. Select the CRM Leads dialer to store the abandoned cart users. This action saves their details, allowing you to follow up and secure completed purchases.
Acknowledge the creation of the API sync and close the dialog window.
The new API Sync dialer is now visible in the list. It will run automatically based on the sync schedule you configured.
Set up your own API sync alerts to automate lead fetching and dialer routing.